Hey there, I'm Chris Willa Williams with the Go Getter team, and welcome to another day in the life, or I want to call it like car chronicles of a real estate agent. I work with a lot of people who are trying to sell their house or thinking about selling their house, and I even work with people who are, getting into the renovation game. And, there's always that toss-up of whether or not you should, do some work yourself or you should go ahead and hire a contractor. Now, hiring a contractor is a difficult thing. I mean, I always like to say that contractors are their own type of people. And what do I mean by that? Usually people who are good with their hands, like working with things, don't really or necessarily love people. So customer service usually isn't their strong point. A lot of the people who are in those kinds of fields and industries tend to really enjoy freedom. And part of that is when they have obligations to contracts or they've got to get something done on it by a deadline, it kind of gets a little bit lax. And that's where you usually hear the most horror stories when it comes to people hiring contractors. But there are some great contractors out there. Not every contractor is like that. Some contractors have that extra gene, in their DNA that, makes them also great at service. I always say, why do a job that you wouldn't, want to be on the receiving end of? And there's some people out there who feel that way. So a big part of making that decision on whether or not you should try to do a job yourself or you should go ahead and hire a professional. Whenever you got something big enough where it will show up in the eye of the potential buyer, you definitely want to hire an experienced contractor, right? If it's demolition, that may be something that you can do yourself and you can reduce the cost that it would take for you to pay somebody else to come in and do the finishing work or, to do the job in terms of the construction of it. You do the destruction and they come in and do the construction. And I'll tell you about doing destruction of a property or demolition. It is a big stress reliever. So if you've ever got one of those tough days at work, maybe you want to spend, a good day or several hours tearing some walls down in your own place. But to put the walls back up and to have somebody come in and lay it all, you probably want to hire an experienced professional if you're going to sell it. If you're going to enjoy it, you're going to live in it, and you want to experiment. I have known people who've done a great job in their own place, but it also costs you an extreme amount of time, and the jobs usually take longer because you're doing it little by little and you're learning along the way. So before you think about doing that, maybe you want to reach out to an experienced realtor like myself or one of my contemporaries and ask questions about, what effect will this renovation have on the sale price of your home in the future? Will you be able to get that money back? That's always that big factor you want to pay attention to when you pick those projects you do yourself or when you bring somebody in to do it. If you've got more questions, we would be happy to answer. Please feel free to comment below, and ask your question, and we'll try to get you an answer, or send us a direct message. You can find us on Instagram or, of course, on Facebook and YouTube. We'd love to hear from you soon.